Thanks for joining us here on NewsNation Rush Hour. I'm Nichole Berlie. The U.S. Energy Department releasing some new findings, saying the coronavirus most likely originated from a lab leak in China. It made this judgment with low confidence. The FBI, though, also agrees it came from a lab, but 4 other government agencies, along with the National Intelligence Panel, say COVID-19 was likely a result of a natural transmission. So we have a lot to dig into here. For a deeper dive, we bring on Balance host Leland Vittert. So Leland Vittert, the U.S. Energy Department now saying, okay, this was a lab leak, a Chinese lab leak, but it's making this determination with low confidence.
Maybe because the Chinese haven't turned over any of the data and destroyed a lot of the evidence over the past 3 years. Right. We know that because the World Health Organization, despite their ties to the Chinese Communist Party, have said as much.
Right.
So that may be one of the reasons that you make this with low confidence. The second thing to think about is anybody with a brain, okay, can figure out that this came from a lab. I'll take the Jon Stewart example. If there's suddenly out of nowhere a river of chocolate flowing through Hershey, Pennsylvania, right down Main Street, did it come from the Hershey plant or did it come from the grocery store?
All right.
I think it probably came from the Hershey plant.
It is important to say that there are plenty of other U.S. intelligence agencies that don't agree with this. So there is division
First of all, remember they made that claim, that determination often under duress. You had the White House and senior administration officials who had political interests in saying that it was a lab leak or saying that it came naturally occurring. The second it becomes a lab leak, the second intelligence services say that, I applaud the Department of Energy for doing this, it becomes a real political problem because people of America are going to demand justice for the 1 million people who died because the Chinese lied. We'll get into On Balance with Colby Hall a little bit about this, but it almost was though it could not have come from a lab in the media's mind. You couldn't even entertain that possibility because then it was good for President Trump.
And I want to talk about that a little bit, the politics of all of this. But so let's get into this new information that we have. So these intelligence agencies don't believe that it was created as a biological weapon. But again, there are some people who say that, okay, it was leaked naturally or it somehow accidentally emerged. What do we take from this? And what if we never know?
There's absolutely no evidence other than the Chinese beating their own drum, saying that this came and occurred naturally. The DNA sequencing just isn't there. We've been reporting on this for 2 years. In the very beginning, it became a reflexive political argument that if Trump said it came from China and it came from a lab, then that couldn't possibly be true. There was a lot of funding from the United States to the Wuhan Lab of Virology, and it became a political issue, not a science issue.
It certainly did.
Which is a problem, and it's kind of a problem for journalism, which we'll get into later, that we stopped sort of critically examining facts, and it turned into simply, if it's good for one side, it must be true. If it's bad for one side, it must be not true, and went from there.
Right. So I want to talk more about the politics of it all. Something that you brought up, and so many people are bringing up now, is the fact that this is what Trump was saying from the very beginning. You know, and that's a fact. We know he was. What does it say about the timing of all of this, especially considering we know he's running for president? Do you think there's anything in timing here?
No, I don't think there's anybody at the Department of Energy who's a huge Donald Trump fan and somehow trying to help his presidential campaign. What you're seeing, though, is a reckoning of sorts within the larger media landscape of, if you think about all the things that we knew to be that are no longer true, or vice versa. The Steele dossier, we know, is a fake. There was no Russia collusion. We know that now. Hunter Biden's laptop suddenly has become real. Okay. In fact, we're going to get in this tonight about East Palestine. For the past week, we've been told it was Trump's deregulation of the railroads that caused this crash.
Right.
Well, even the Washington Post now says that's not true. So there's a real question here of what happens when journalists stop asking questions about facts and start just playing to their own political side.
Well, speaking of asking questions, not that anybody in the Energy Department is a big fan of Trump. However, could the timing of this potentially help Trump's campaign?
Well, being tough on China is something Donald Trump has been talking about since the 1980s, to be fair to him. And that's what won him the presidency in 2016, was that talk. This creates, I think it's not so much could it help Trump, but does it hurt President Biden? because this puts President Biden in a very difficult position. He's wanted to have this détente with China. The spy balloon made that hard. This makes it even harder. The Republicans in Congress investigating this very issue will make it even more difficult, because when you realize and have to acknowledge that the Chinese Communist Party, maybe by accident, but is responsible for the death of 1 million Americans, spending $1 trillion, changing our way of life, people get angry.
People do.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.